Welcome to the TNT Boys podcast. I'm Kale. This is Sam. We're kind of doing a new style of setup here. We're all here together on one roof right now. I set all this up to produce more on the side of the computer side sometimes for these bigger episodes we do. Sam, how are you today? How was your week?
I'm good. I feel like we're more like distant than we normally are. You know, it's just like a different setup, but I like it.
Official too, a little bit.
It's I mean, I'm relaxing in this big ass chair. It's a lot more comfortable than the gamer chair that I usually sit in. So we're chilling. We're big chilling right now.
Now, a lot of people are going to be wondering if we're still going to be sitting at that table. Yeah, here and there we will.
Yeah. You wondering?
We're gonna just, we're just testing the waters with stuff right now. So
yeah.
For example, like we got a high quality camera I'm on. He's on the old webcam, so his is still good.
I'm in the low quality.
His is still good, but we're just money. I don't know how to put it. Money. Bro.
But no, I'm doing good. It's been a good week.
Move the mic a little bit this way. You're too loud.
Right here?
Yeah, that's good.
I'm good here.
Yeah, you're great. It's all testing because I was trying to fuck with it earlier, and I just like, okay, all right, does this sound good?
All right.
Does this sound good?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, continue.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, I'm doing good. It's getting close to Christmas. Work's going good, busy. Things are going good, man. I'm incredibly blessed to live the life I live right now. So I get to do what I love every day.
Oh, yeah. For me, work has been going pretty good. We've been busy and everyone's getting their stuff done. And I've been saying that at like every episode now. So, I don't know what to say. It's just been, got my days and that's all I really could, do. Sam, what are we doing today's episode? I think it's pretty quite evident we have a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In the sports world itself.
Yep.
With before we started recording tonight, Scott Frost getting hired on back at UCF.
That's crazy. I actually thought that was crazy.
Yeah. It shocked me.
I wasn't expecting him to actually get back into head coaching. I guess I was expecting it eventually, but I guess I figured he would take the role of a coordinator somewhere first.
Yes.
Because he has spent this season on the Rams, correct?
Yeah. He's like
as a offensive quality control something or whatever. Yep. But hey, best of luck to him. It's unfortunate to work out in Nebraska, but I hope the best for him. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the stuff he did when he was here, but he had a lot of success at Central Florida in the past, so maybe he can rekindle some of that spark.
Well, one thing I instantly saw is it's going to really test and show if Nebraska is really cursed, how he does.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited
if he goes there and does great like he did before
and win the national championship, the imaginary one like he did in his first year.
Not his first year there.
Oh,
it was his second or third year there.
Yep. We also got to talk about between our favorite teams, the Lions and Packers. We'll go over some stuff that should have happened and how poorly ref that great game was.
It was a good game.
We'll also look for reactions from other people. We'll talk about that as well. We're going to talk about the United healthcare guy getting shot up in New York. We'll talk about that. We'll just talk about basic world events that's been going on since we're recording this on Saturday, which is the 7th of December.
Yep. Take a little break over the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yep. Now we're coming back strong, and Sam and I have actually talked a lot today, and we're gonna bring that energy. We're just right here. This hypes me up even more. That makes me glad that I'm here and everyone's listening to us, and I just think we're just taking one more step closer.
All right.
We're taking one step closer to reaching that potential level to where we can just grow. But I don't want to get too cocky. I just think,
it's growth, man. Growth is exciting.
You're never gonna hear us stop talking about growth on this channel at all.
Growth in life in general, it always feels good, no matter how small. I don't really think it's cocky, man. It's just you're excited to grow. You're excited to be your best version of yourself.
Yeah. Another big one, what we'll say, or I will say, is I'm actually starting another channel. It's a wrestling channel, so if you're interested in any WWE, AEW, whatever wrestling it might be, it could be indie, it could be, NXT for all I care. It's the same thing, almost essentially, just more local as indie. So go ahead and follow the Heavyweight Havoc. That's with my buddy Yoshi, and I will be talking about all sorts of stuff. So stay tuned for that. We're working out details, getting stuff ready for that as well.
All right.
Hopefully I could teach you a thing or two, Sam, about wrestling. I know you don't really care for it, but
maybe I'll come on an episode here or there.
Yeah, we could probably get that set up.
But yeah, I will not be the co-host for that one, as I am with TNT boys.
Hey, maybe Sam should start his own lifting deal. I don't even have to be on it. I could just predict. I just don't want to spout out the ideas on here, but
something to think about for sure.
Yeah, I think you could do it. So what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the United Healthcare guy?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So the guy from United Healthcare.
What's his name?
I can't remember. Let me look it up. So this guy is actually from Minnesota, and he went to college in Iowa. Graduated from some Iowa colleges. His name was Brian Thompson. He was going to a conference in the morning of the shooting, and it was a big convention stuff. You know how that typical stuff is.
Yeah.
And I guess
a lot of people.
The gunman, I don't know what his motive is. I haven't paid attention to it right now, but until now, I don't know what his motive was. But what do you think? What's the motive of killing a CEO of a healthcare? Is it the pay or like the cost and the coverage?
People that are out to do that. I don't really think there's any sort of motive necessarily. I just think they're not right in the head. Like they have something wrong with them that's possessing them to feel the need to kill someone important.
There has to be some motive, like, some people say, just the inner conspiracy theorist to me could say, oh, it was a corporate hit. So maybe somebody corporate did not like what he was doing and everything that was going on.
Maybe.
And decided to hire to hit.
There could be some conspiracy theory behind that.
But, I mean, it can go on for anything. Anything that happens there's always instantly a conspiracy theory with it. So, I mean, I'm not too surprised about it.
Right.
There's that. I'm trying to think what else. Talk about the Lions-Packers game. Going on a little bit tangent on that. And then we also could talk about the Husker football team and where we're going with that as well.
Yep.
Not good, I'll say about that, but we'll leave that. So let's talk about the Packer-Lions game. The Lions came in there to 11-1, Packers 9-3. Personally, I watched the whole, pretty much second half, end of the first half into the second half. I thought it was a good classic back and forth shootout bout. What?
It was.
So I don't know. Go, Sam, give your take. Since you're the Packers fan, I'd rather you give it first and then.
Yeah, no. It was a good game. I was kind of tuning in and out. I was out and about earlier that night, so I didn't really get to tune in till like second half anyway. But yeah, they played well. Green Bay, they played well. Defensively, they could have done better there in the end. They kept letting Detroit score when the offense finally got it going and ended up being a shootout. Really, it literally came down to who had the ball last, which was Detroit. And, you can argue this, argue that when it comes to, flags and penalties and, how bad the refs were, which they weren't good. But that's kind of for both sides. You can complain about that all you want, but that's not really what loses a game. There's a lot we could have done early on to give ourselves a better chance to win that game. We're still in the thick of it. We're 9-4. Definitely, I still totally believe we're going to make the playoffs. I think our chances of winning the division are very thin, almost non-existent at this point. But I think we do get at least a 5th or 6th seed, and we'll go from there. I will say this, and I already told you this, Kale. Now it's on record. If my Packers get eliminated early in the playoffs, I'll root for the Lions to go the rest of the way. So
let's talk about Jalen Reed. A lot of people.
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed. Sorry.
Yep.
Let's talk about
he didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've talked to, even on who it got, even you said, I don't remember if it was on screen or on camera or not on camera. You said that Jaden Reed was gonna run all over us, right? Or Romeo Dobbs.
I probably said Reed.
Reed a couple weeks ago said, what was that dumb quote he said?
I think Reed's our best receiver, personally.
But what's funny, he had no catches.
I know.
No
I don't.
receptions.
The Lions must have been keying on him, because another thing with Reed is we use him as a runner sometimes too. Like, he actually leads the league in rushing yards as a wide receiver this year. Guess who it's been the past 3 years? I saw something on the internet. The past 3 seasons, the leading rusher at wide receiver has been Deebo Samuel. Obviously, he's get used a lot at running back. This year it's Jaden Reed. So I just think he's our most versatile playmaker on offense. And when you're not getting, I want to finish here.
Sorry.
He's our most versatile and our most explosive playmaker on offense. Not to take anything away from Josh Jacobs. He's our workhorse. He's having a great year. He scored 3 touchdowns again. But Jaden Reed is our most explosive and our most versatile. And when you're not getting him the ball, something is wrong. Yeah, Christian Watson had over 100 receiving yards. And even Dontavian Wicks had some decent plays. And I'm not a fan of Dontavian Wicks. But you got to find the way to get the ball to a guy like Jaden Reed with his versatility and his skill set. There's so many different ways. There's no excuse he's not getting the ball. So, maybe he could have done something to help us win the game.
Oh, looks like my camera cut out a little bit, but that's all right. What I was going to say is, he was on the St. Brown podcast back in, what was it here? I think October, and he was talking with St. Brown, Lil Wayne. Or no, it was
Amon-Ra and Equanimus.
It was his brother and Lil Wayne on the show, and then Jaden Reed said on a tweet, I think like a couple weeks ago, he said, "Wait until I come back to Detroit." Well, here we are, 0 catches.
Yeah,
yards.
That doesn't look good for him.
No,
and I actually had him starting on one of my fantasy teams, and it was very disappointing to have him get 0 points. But
let's go back to Josh Jacobs. He had
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. He averaged 3.7 yards. 3.7 yards.
Not the greatest
yards.
average, but he's a beast down near the goal line.
Yep. Even Jordan Love played a great game with 206 yards, 1 touchdown, and 12 for 20.
Yeah, that's not great, but he didn't turn the ball over. You can't blame this loss on him. He's gotten better within the past few games of not throwing any interceptions. And yeah, like I said, that looks terrible for Jaden Reed because he talked that shit, and he went out and didn't record a single catch for a single yard. But that's kind of on the offensive scheming, play calling. Something's up when you're not getting the ball to your star players, man, because, I think him and Josh Jacobs are our best 2 playmakers on offense this year.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So, even Christian Watson, he had
a really good game.
Yeah, but there was still some stuff he needs to work on. He just didn't know how to haul the catch it.
His biggest thing is he's inconsistent, with his hands. And he's
fumbling.
He's injury prone.
Yeah.
Very injury prone.
Tucker Kraft had a hell of a game. Did you see that hit?
Tucker Kraft's a stud.
Did you see the hit he had on him and
the
kept backed up? I was personally impressed myself when I saw that.
He is maybe the best tight end we've had since Jermichael Finley.
Yeah.
Or at least since Jared Cook when we had him for that 1 year. in 2016.
Quay Walker and Kenny Clark also played a great game.
Yeah.
You guys also had your rookie safety get hurt, concussion.
Yeah.
Your defense is hurting a little bit.
Yeah, we need Jair back.
Yeah. But the Lions...
not having him hurt a lot in this game especially. And you guys offensively are just so balanced, man. Like, you can 1-2 punch it with Gibbs and Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles. And then you can play action off that with Goff, who's one of the best quarterbacks off the play action, and get it to guys like Amon-Ra, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta.
Well, Williams is stepping it up. So
you guys have weapons galore on offense.
Dude, Tim Patrick had 2 touchdowns that game, too.
Tim Patrick went off.
Yeah. He hadn't had a touchdown since 2021. So
exactly. So, like, you guys have 2 starting caliber running backs. You have really 2 potential number 1 receivers. I think Jamison Williams has the potential to be a number 1. Amon-Ra is obviously a number 1. Tim Patrick's a solid number 2 or 3. Sam Laporta is an elite tight end. Yep. You have a great offensive line. Goff is a great, he's a really good quarterback. I'm not going to call him great. He's very good. He's a great field general, and he's really good off the play action. If you give Jared Goff a good running game, then he can play like an elite quarterback because he can do play action off of that.
No, I don't remember if we talked a lot about this outside the video. I do have a video I want to show you. I'll have to find it on my Facebook. But I truly believe that the Lions are finding their people off the street or, on their practice squad, and these guys are stepping up.
Kind of like how the Patriots used to do it.
Yeah. And it's great to see that because now it's like
that shows how good of a coach Dan Campbell is.
But let me get into this. I actually have a video speaking of Dan Campbell that you're not gonna like to hear.
You're not gonna believe this. Why would I not like to hear it?
You may or may not. You might agree to it. You might disagree to it. Let me pull it up here for everyone to see.
Roll tape.
So this is I saw this earlier today. This is the odd. Well, no, it's from Rob Parker and one of the Fox Radio Sports deal they got over there, and this is his cake. This is
his cake.
This is his take on Dan Campbell. He thinks Dan Campbell is a bad coach.
Okay, let me hear it.
Let me unmute it first. All right.
Dan Campbell.
Oh, I don't have it set up. Hold on. Rookie.
Da 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 da.
Rookie.
First time doing something like this.
Wow,
but yeah, it was a good game.
This is about 4-minute video. Fuck. All right. Bear with me, everybody.
Dan Campbell, for as much credit and people are all excited about him, I think he's a bad coach, and I think he's worse than Brandon Staley when he was with the Chargers, who got fired. This is reckless. And the reason I say he's a bad coach and ultimately will wind up costing the Lions a chance at the elusive trip to the Super Bowl or even a chance to win it is because what he's doing is unnecessary and putting his team in harm's way. And I'm just saying, you don't want to do that if you don't have to, going for it, 4th and 1 inside the 30. I read some stat where no team had done it in 25 years since 2000 had that even been done. And again, you guys who I understand Lions fans, and you're one of them, you love the guy because you endured all the terrible years, okay? I get it. And you're like, oh, they're on the cusp. And this is the guy, he's fearless and this and that. But if you're really honest, Dan Campbell cost you a trip to the Super Bowl last year with the chicanery and all of that. and he's going to do it again. He hasn't learned his lesson. This is unnecessary. This is not Madden. The Lions have a really good team and a chance to win, and the 1 weak spot is Dan Campbell.
This is where you.
Okay. So he's comparing him to Brandon Staley from the Chargers.
Which Brandon Staley was terrible.
He's supposed to be defensive-minded coach.
He's terrible. He's just awful.
Like they made it to the playoffs one year with Brandon Staley. They were one and done, and it was because of their defense. And he's supposed to be a defensive guy. He's nowhere near. The thing about Dan Campbell, some of the stuff, I agree. Some of the stuff he does is very unorthodox.
Oh,
but he's
as a Lion fan, I believe in that too.
But he's not afraid to push the envelope and try new things. And here's one thing.
What's crazy? But what's crazy? The dude went on 4th and 1, didn't get it, and still won the damn ball game.
He's a motivator.
He is, and people overlook that every time.
They do.
It's insane.
Like players love to play for a guy like Dan Campbell.
I would too.
You know, like Brandon Staley seemed like a pushover. That's so stupid. That's terrible.
Anyway, so his co-host also had this to say.
You get in trouble, Rob, and this is why I have to be here to protect you, because you keep doing things like saying Patrick Mahomes is Daniel Jones. And now you're saying that Brandon Staley has the nerve to be mentioned in the same vein as Dan Campbell, who has been, 24-6 in the last 2 seasons?
Don't forget the first 2 years.
That's perfectly fine as well.
Dan Campbell's the best thing to ever happen to the Lions.
Exactly.
Any coach setting there's been stink of the Lions have been there for so long, and he came in and hit it with some potpourri, hit it with some Febreze, and we've been off ever since.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, hoping for a different result.
This guy's a Detroit fan, too.
I think what he is doing works fine during the season. Have no problem with it. Amon St. Brown said, we knew all the time we're going for it on 4th down. That's just how we are. It's our makeup. It's how we're built. They're ready for it. He said we're ready for it every time. This is what we do. Even he was a little shocked last night, but they've been doing this since the Dan Campbell experiment has begun, and it's worked, and they've won, and they've been dominant. Here's the difference, and here's where there is some pause for concern. If you do not learn from your mistakes and you keep thinking that you can do the same things in the postseason, where it's literally its own new season, then I will have an issue. What I mean is, on a random Monday night, a random Thursday night like last night, you got 16, 17 weeks, 17 games. Okay, you can go for it. You can gamble knowing if we were to lose, we got plenty of time to make it up throughout the season. Once you get in the postseason, it is literally a new season, 0-0 for all teams, and it is a win or go home. So
that I agree
with. As long as he has learned from his lesson and his mistake last year and realizes each game, each quarter, really each drive matters and it's different in the postseason, I'm okay with that, because then he can continue to be who he is, mentally tough. This team fights hard. They play hard. They fight through adversity, fight through mistakes, and I love it. But I'm banking on that he has learned from his mistake last season and will make the adjustment needed in the postseason.
And look at this! Dan Campbell, for as much...
Some wrestling came on.
So, yeah, I kind of agree with him, the second guy, that he needs to, maybe not take as many risks in the playoffs, because because it's win or go home, like you said.
Right.
And that'll come back to bite you in the butt. In the regular season, yeah, you got a lot of more chances to make it up. And they have. I mean, they're 12-1 now?
Yeah.
So sitting pretty at the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. I think they'll get it. It's going to be either them or the Eagles, and I see the Lions getting it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good take. I'm curious to hear what he has to say about the Patrick Mahomes one. I haven't had a chance to look it up yet.
That's ridiculous. That's even worse. Pat Mahomes is a top 5 all-time quarterback. I'm going to say it right now. Top 4.
Now, I'm going to put on the replay as well, as it might give you a little PTSD. But we're going to look at the knee down. And we're also going to look up the rules on that, because I feel like people forget about that kind of stuff. And so here we are, and we're,
I'm partial to agree with you on that, just because it wasn't a designed QB kneel. It was a designed handoff, running play.
Correct.
And he wasn't down by contact, so the play should still be alive. It's the NFL. It's not college. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Sorry, I just saw the funniest meme.
Oh, what in the heck? I can't see what it says from here.
Oh,
it's too small.
Shit. I forgot about this. I like winning.
That's totally you, dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that extreme though.
Oh, get back to this here. No, I'm gonna pop up the QB kneel, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously.
Now, is it something like where? No, yeah, he shouldn't. Should be down by contact. Honestly, I mean, I can't complain about that. That's not.
I gotta play this no audio. So.
Okay.
He trips over himself.
Yeah, he trips over his own feet.
Because if you look here, where you see where his right foot is,
yeah,
that he's just tripping over his own self.
Yeah, he wasn't down by contact.
So,
yeah, no, I mean they didn't. Yeah, I really don't see anything wrong with them not ruling him down.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm a Packer fan.
And if let's be honest here,
we had plenty other opportunities to win that game. I'm not going to blame it on that one moment. That's stupid.
So, oh, you mother. Oh wow! I just want to show you, but I guess it's not letting me. Let's drag this here. See, yeah, his knee is down, but I don't know. You can fight that all you want. I know
his knee's down, but again, he's not down by contact. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't really like unless it's designed QB kneel. As long as I've known, in the NFL, you have to be down by contact.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a designed quarterback kneel. It was a running play. So I really don't see the issue, honestly. I can't really.
Honestly, you want to hear a Lions kind of take on it? Lions, well, I guess football fan, not a biased football fan. If we're gonna be honest, I told somebody the other day, I'm like, no matter what the outcome is, you could sit there and complain and cry about how this happened.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the game's over. You can't reverse it.
Right.
They're not going to waste their time reversing the score. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Lions fan. Call me what you want. I don't care.
That's, yeah.
But
you move on.
Yeah, maybe, shit, we could probably lose in the first or second round in the playoffs. We'll get the first round bye, obviously. But.
Well, don't get too cocky now.
Yeah, no.
Eagles could still get it. Even the Vikings could still get it.
Yeah. But anyway, you get my point.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to change.
No. You move on. You know, league maybe admits they made a mistake at some point, but at the end of the day, you know, it happened. Game's over. There's a winner. There's a loser. Then you move on to the next week.
Yeah. Now, do you think what's it called? I don't know how to explain it, but do you think that this is going to be looked at like, okay, how can we fix this or prevent this?
I don't. I really don't, dude. Like, he tripped. He tripped. He wasn't down by contact. It wasn't a design quarterback kneel. He tripped and handed the ball off after falling on his knee. I'm rooted for the losing team, and I don't see an issue with it. So I don't know what to tell you. That's just NFL. Like, that's the rules in the NFL, dude. Like, if you're gonna complain, like, complain.
Now, buddy of our Brody's, he's always been on here. He's always welcome on here. He brought it up to my attention. He's like, not you, but do you think the fans inside of Detroit is getting too toxic? Are they becoming like the Eagles?
I don't know if that much, but I am starting to see like how people are correlating them with the refs, kind of like they do with the Chiefs and they did with the Patriots. Like, the refs are on the Lions side.
Okay, as a Lions fan, I'm gonna go ahead and say this on record. I think that was a great game. It was just ruined by
terrible officiating.
Terrible officiating.
It sucks when good games are ruined by the officiating.
Yeah. It's awful. Awful, very awful.
And I know they're trying to do their best, but you're an NFL ref. You should have your shit together at least somewhat.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could go on and on about this game, man. I don't really know what else to say on it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the result is what it is, and nothing we can do about it. Like I said, we can't just sit here and complain and whatnot,
I mean, your team won, so I don't know what you have to complain about.
What I'm going to say, I wanted to say is people don't like other people winning sometimes. But
so you're mad at the haters?
Not necessarily. There's this one guy in particular. I'm going to call his ass out, and I don't care if this ever reaches him. There's a page on Facebook called GM Sports 365, and he's probably the biggest dick rider of a Packers fan I've ever seen.
Okay.
He thinks his Packers are, no matter if they're good or shit, like, if I showed you shit, you'd be like, oh, dude, this guy is just the hell.
So what? Is he like, does he hate the Lions? Does he post, like, really bad stuff about the Lions?
There's times, yeah.
But he probably hates the Bears and the Vikings more.
No, he just has a fucking hard-on for hating the Lions.
Oh, really?
Yes. And his sports takes in general are just terrible. It's just terrible. It's awful.
He's one of those diehard fans, but he's blind. Like, he's not realistic.
He's one of those podcast or sports group pages that think my opinion's right and yours is shit, basically. You're saying like my shit is stinkier than yours.
Yeah.
Basically. But however, let's move on from that. Next week we got the Bills. You guys got who?
We've got the Seahawks, I believe.
That'll be a good classic fuck you screwing over Packer game.
We got a decent kind of little rivalry with the Seahawks. We've been in some battles with them in the past, so should be a good game. Honestly, I think we're quite a bit better team than they are.
That'd be a good bounce back game.
They have a shot at winning the NFC West and making the playoffs, so they're no slouch. They play the Cardinals this weekend, though, which before we wrap this episode up, we need to announce a tiebreaker for that game.
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to post who you got. It'll probably be up tomorrow, which will be Sunday. Lately I've been pushing them out before the games on Sunday, if not during, it's whatever. It's just, more whatever. We still got a lot to talk about on college football right now and the Cornhuskers and
yeah. I was just gonna. I just want to mention that.
Oh.
Because in our Who You Got episode, I realized we had only 2 games different, so there's a chance we tie if the Chiefs win on Sunday over the Chargers, since the Lions already beat the Packers. So if the Chiefs were to win, we'd be tied, and we would need a tiebreaker. So it'll be the Seahawks-Cardinals game. But yeah, we play the Seahawks next weekend.
Before we move on from this segment, I just want to show you something funny. This is from the victory speech. Like every game, every week, he does a victory speech, and it's a great speech. I'll be honest, great speech. Like you said, he is a motivator. So
yeah, that's what he's best at, is motivating. I don't really think he's much of a. I mean, he has an offensive mind. Sure, he played in the NFL. He was a tight end.
Oh, why isn't up? Why can't I hear it?
But
that's why.
God!
Wouldn't that just fire you up?
what did he say?
He said, "F yeah."
Oh, I heard like
I told you you'd never
last
forget
part of
this
it.
game. You will never forget this game. We don't have to talk about how tough we are. We don't have to talk about how resilient we are. We live it, man. We've been living it. Where's our defense at? Offense, that's the way to step up, man. That's the way to step up. There you go, Skip. Keep throwing up, whatever you're doing up there. That's the way to freaking lay it on the line. Guys, I'm so freaking proud of you, man. That's the way to show up. You talk about pressure, we live
I like
in
how
pressure.
he's like, "Yeah, Skip,
That's where we
keep throwing
freaking
up."
thrive. You
Yeah.
did it again. You freaking did it again. All right? It doesn't matter who's playing for us. It doesn't matter what's going on. You always find a way to win. That's what champions do. This is not happenstance, man. This doesn't just happen. This has been in the making, man. This has been in the making. All right? We were all supposed to be here together, man. We're destined for this. Just stay the course. That's 12, and that's 4 in the division. All right, I got 2 game balls. All right? First one here, 6 receptions.
I like when he
can't
gives
read
game
this
balls
first one. I'm
out.
gonna
I
say
mean,
43
to me, I
yards,
feel like
2
that's a good
ties. His first one
motivator.
since 2021. Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick, crazy.
He reminds me of Daniel, my old buddy Daniel.
Thank you guys, man. Thank you for
Way it
embracing
looks.
me. It's been a hell of a ride the past 2 years, and I wouldn't want to go on this ride with
haven't talked
anybody
that
else
guy
but y'all.
forever.
Appreciate y'all boys.
All the stats you need is he won the freaking game again. Jake Payne.
Here you go.
Hey, I freaking love you guys, man. Let's get 13 next week.
Yes, sir.
You guys are warriors. You're warriors. Good win. Break it down.
Hey, like he said, this just don't just happen, boys. We're different. Again, I'll say it again. This group's different.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
So thoughts?
No, dude, that's hype, man. I love that. You know, I'm not a Lions fan, but
You'd love to see that kind of stuff.
he's a good coach, man. He's a good motivator. You like to see that kind of environment after a big win against a division rival. Yeah, that's cool to see. I love seeing stuff like that.
Yeah. Any other NFL stuff that you can think of? I know Coach Prime said he wants his sons to go play for the Raiders. That's what I heard today.
Raiders.
Not
Yeah.
shocking there, to be honest.
Not shocking, and the Raiders need a quarterback, so I could totally see them drafting Shedeur.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Aiden O'Connell is not the answer. NFL. I mean, we talk quite a bit on who you got about a lot of the up-to-date stuff right now. NFL kind of gave who I thought my MVP frontrunners are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let's go on over to the college football world.
Yeah. Big 12 championship was state. Arizona State knocked the socks off of Iowa State. Arizona State wins by 50 fucking trillion.
Yeah, that I don't know. I think the Big Ten's going on right now.
Go Oregon. That's all I gotta say
check
there.
The score here.
Oregon versus Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what other?
Right now it's halftime. Oregon's winning by a touchdown. And then Clemson is kicking the shit out of SMU. 24-7. Georgia beat Texas 22-19.
Dang, that was a close one.
Boise yesterday beat UNLV. Poor Jarrett. 21-7. Gentry had another 100-yard game.
I think he'll win the Heisman.
I do too.
Yeah.
We still got to record the special one.
Yep.
We'll probably do that Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, because the next Saturday will be when it's
Yep.
voting. What I like about the Heisman this year, it's actually a diverse group. It's not just a quarterback's trophy anymore.
No. And well, I mean, there's been some years in recent history where a quarterback didn't win it. Like, let's see, last year it was Jaden Daniels. The year before it was Caleb Williams. The year before it was Bryce Young.
That seems like a quarterback award.
But the year before that, it was Devontae Smith. It was. Yeah. And then not too long, I think, before that, Derrick Henry won a Heisman. It's normally quarterbacks, so there's been a few running backs and wide receivers in there, but mostly quarterbacks.
So how do you feel about Arizona State coming into the Big 12 the first year and they win their championship? How do you feel about that?
I think it's crazy because it's their first year in the conference. They have a pretty good coach. He's very outspoken, very, not afraid to speak his mind at these press conferences. But that running back for them, what's his name? Freaking big ass white dude trucking people over, man.
I just saw him on here.
Yeah, no, he was. They couldn't bring him down, man. Iowa State, man. And that dude was just tearing him up.
Cam, is it Cam?
What's his last name?
Sket Ebos.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
He had 10 carries, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Dude was off, man. He's a beast. And I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that old school power running back type of approach, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of cool. Yeah. Part of me was kind of pulling for Iowa State because we got our buddy Robbie over there in Des Moines, fan of Iowa State. He went to Iowa State, but
all I got to say is womp womp.
He'll be all right in the morning.
He'll be all right in the morning.
Get you some Orville Wedding Walker and a squinch on the side.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and go into our local state of Nebraska. Let's go ahead and talk about Scott Frost hiring to be the next coach of UCF. Because, why? Because Gus has left. He stepped down to go to Florida State and took Tony White with him and Terrence Knighton, which is kind of a sad deal for us over here in Nebraska. Sam, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I mean, losing Tony White hurts. I am glad we got Holgerson for another 2 years. I am sad about Emmett Johnson entering the transfer portal. That's my biggest takeaway from this week. Emmett Johnson entering the transfer portal.
That's a big shocker, to be honest.
It was a shocker because when Holgerson took over, Johnson kind of took over as the lead horse, whereas throughout most of the season, it was Dante Dowdell. And I like Dowdell, but he's more of just like an old school workhorse power back, whereas they're able to use Emmett Johnson in more creative ways as a receiver. He's got a little more shiftiness to him, more of just like an all-purpose back. Whereas, again, Dowdell's kind of that bruiser. And to see him enter the transfer portal, man, just kind of, it's like, dang, he could have done big things for us next year. But a thing I would like Nebraska to go back to doing, which they haven't really done since the days of Amir Abdullah, is center the offense around one feature running back, Now, they used to build the offense around the running back. Nowadays you build offense around the quarterback a lot of the time, around a guy like Dylan Raiola. But I see nothing wrong with just having one feature back. And I feel like Dowdell can do that because he's got the build, he's got the durability, the strength. He's not quite as versatile as an Emmett Johnson. But I would like to see Nebraska go back to doing that. And another thing that I like about Holgerson, a lot of people are saying his air raid offense wouldn't work at Nebraska because he used to coach at like Houston. And then you see him in the goal line and they're using 3 fullbacks. They're putting big Ty Johnson, defensive lineman, in at fullback. And I love that. And I like to see just that old school ground and pound style of offense.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think more for Emmett, I think it had to do with NIL. I feel like another coach from another school probably tampered and offered him more than what we were offering him, which is, it's going to happen. I can go on and on about talking about NIL for sure. You know my take, and everybody knows my take. I think NIL is ruining the game because it's not controlled. It's not,
Could be the NIL situation for sure.
But, hey, I guess if you're trying to make a good dollar, then go for it, No one's stopping you.
Yeah, I just always think more of the football aspect. It's like, dude, you had a good thing going here. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, I know with going back to kind of the football side of things, like I know with a talented quarterback like Raiola, like you want to build the offense around him and air it out, but like there's nothing wrong with being a run-first offense and using them off the play action, man.
Another big loss, I personally believe, is James Williams when he announced that he was transferring.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's probably following Knighton. I mean, that's his only family here.
Did you see also Daniel Kalen, the backup quarterback?
Yes, I to be honest, he wasn't gonna play here.
I could have seen it though, maybe after a couple of years of Raiola.
But he would have had if depends on what Raiola was gonna do.
Right.
But here we are, and
he could go off the next 2 years and go in the NFL, though.
Yeah, I think Daniel Kalen is a good football player. I think he plays great physical football, mind you.
Yeah.
I think he's a team leader. We also got to fill a position at receiver now, Coleman. But again, just like any other.
I'm not too surprised about that one.
I'm not either, but again, it's just another Husker fans talk, and I hear that it's because of grades, which I understand, but
yeah. I actually heard something too that Matt Rule is kind of changing his mindset. He's shifting his mindset a little bit about how to build the team, because he used to always just believe in like old school, like the old way, whereas like you can't really do that anymore with NIL and the transfer portal. So hopefully he utilizes the transfer portal and the NIL stuff to his advantage more, because let's be honest, it's the University of Nebraska. The money's there. Fucking use it,
Yeah.
There's all these other teams that are literally making a 1 year shift, like in Indiana. And it's like they're using their resources. We have the resources and more. Use it.
But you know for a fact Nebraska is want to do things right kind of program.
Sure. So, and you can still set that as your base, but man, like you got to adapt to the times a little bit.
I know. And I think that's what hurts, us right now.
A little bit.
And now we signed a quarterback. I can't remember his name right now.
I remember that, yeah.
He's a really good player, so
I saw that on Facebook or something in the comments. It was like, or no, the post said QB of the future. In the comments is like, I thought we already had our QB of the future, and his little brother's committed too. So like,
well, and none of that, half our defense is transferring out because of the two leaving, and that sucks.
Yeah,
Butler was a great player. Thompson was a great player. Vincent Jackson was also good. Gabe Yor was also good, but Gabe Irvin, I'll talk about him, and I'm not too.
Gabe Irvin, I saw coming.
I did too, and he just got lost in the sauce.
He was basically fourth string this last year.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that
I didn't know he got lost in the sauce though. I never heard about that.
Basically we just have a crowded back in there.
Oh,
so
I always heard lost in the sauce is like you got a drinking problem.
No, I always heard lost in the sauce is that you just get lost, like you forgot about.
Oh,
in football terms, I've heard of that.
Got you. Yeah, no, I always heard like lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we're learning new things every day.
Yeah. I always heard lost in the sauce as like someone who developed like a big drinking problem, became an alcoholic, but
what are you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything.
No,
I'm just saying I've heard that used for that only.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a little too early to talk about this because we're only out just getting to the end of year 2. But I think we all know that we're going to the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Rule really has to really show what he is made of in year 3.
We got to make that big jump in year 3. Like, I like honestly, like, despite still all the disappointments we've went through this year, like losing another close one to Iowa, losing to fucking UCLA, we should not have lost that game.
That was
we
ass.
shouldn't. We lost disappointingly to Illinois. Ohio State, sure, like you kind of expect to lose a game like that. We lost disappointingly to USC, got blown out by Indiana. But you focus on the positives. We beat Wisconsin, which we blew them out. That was good. We beat Rutgers at a time when they were doing really good.
Yeah.
But and it's an improvement from last year. We went 5-7 last year. We're 6-6 this year, bowl bound. Granted, not a good bowl game, but what do you expect at 6-6?
I'll take
it's still a bowl game. It's better than it's been the last however many years. So you'll take it. But at the same time, next year's got to be that jump. And most Matt Rule teams, when he was at Temple, when he was at Baylor, they've made that big jump in year 3. Now, granted, he's not at Temple. He's not at Baylor. He's at Nebraska, and we play in the Big Ten. I personally would be happy with, I'd say, 8 to 9 wins in the regular season in year 3. Is that too much to ask? I guess we'll see. I think the offense should hopefully look a lot more gelled next season. Like smoother, not as stagnant, running a better variety of different types of plays. Defense, it'll be interesting to see because we're losing a lot of players, losing our DC.
D-line too. Can't forget the D-line coach.
I mean, knowing Nebraska, normally we have a fairly solid defense. That's kind of something we take pride in Nebraska. Not saying we haven't had our, fair share of seasons with bad defense, but I feel like Rule, being a little bit more of a defensive-minded coach, will get that part taken care of and let Holgerson kind of do his thing with the offense, hopefully. That's kind of my take on that.
I think Dana is probably the greatest thing that's happened to this program for a little while. Personally.
Yeah.
He's really, we were talking about it today, and the way he's running that ball, everyone's like talking about, oh, he's going to be air raid.
Right, because he was at Houston, and that's what they do.
And now he's just running the ball.
Like, he's still throwing, but he does have running game concepts, and I love that goal line, jumbo backfield with 2 D linemen in at fullback, and then Dowdell, which is our big hammer tailback, behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And they can either run it or they can play action off of it. I love it. I love that old school style. And he just gives us more variety. He really runs more of a multiple style offense, which is my favorite style of offense. So I like it.
I like how we're using the fullback more. I like the fullback plays.
As a former fullback, I can agree.
I just play offensive line and D-line.
That's important too. We need a lot of help on the O-line too. Honestly,
the O-line's been our issue for years.
Honestly, dude, it's weird because we have the size. Those guys are huge and they're strong. But for whatever reason, it's a scheme thing. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know. But every time we need a big play, the offensive line fucks it up, man.
Fucks it up big time.
They either false start or they let a guy free and sack Raiola right away. Every time, dude, it's the offensive line that.
If you want to know how to get your starting quarterback hurt right away, that's how.
That's how you do it, man. Like I said, it's either they false start and then we start back, 5 to 10 yards, or they let someone free immediately. Raiola doesn't have any time. And it's dude, get your shit together. We should be better on the line. You guys are D1 offensive linemen. You're big, you're strong, you're fast. What's the scheme issue? What's the coaching issue? What's wrong that's making it happen? So every time we need that player, we need to put the pedal to the metal and put teams away like we failed to do against Iowa. A lot of that falls back on the O-line, man.
When we get close,
that's where it starts.
When we get close in a one point game with Matt Rule, my hope is like either there or just gone.
I mean,
Like, I'll be honest.
that's how it was with Frost too. But we lost like all of them with Frost.
He doesn't have just as good as a record as Frost. He's just about the same.
He's about worse, maybe. The thing though is, you see fight in Rule. I don't know. You see it in his face. Whereas Frost, he was just stoic, like he didn't give a shit.
You could tell he was either drunk or just didn't give a shit. Like,
Yeah, hungover. But no, it was just like, dude, we had the opportunity to put that game away, and we just blew it. Pissed it down our leg. You look at the post game stats. We were better in every major statistical category, except obviously the final score.
Yeah.
So
just
disappointing, man. Disappointing. Another last second loss to Iowa. I was so mad, dude. I was so disappointed. I just hope we can.
stopped watching after
If we
the
can
second
end the
half.
year strong with a bowl game win, that at least, it's a good way to like kind of send us off into the off season, and look towards brighter things going into next season. Brighter horizons. Yes,
we have some good recruits coming in too. So
we do.
I'm kind of looking forward to that.
We do. Definitely, I've seen a few of them.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I hope he gets it figured out year 3.
Yeah, I like him. I do like him as a coach, and I believe in him. But now we got to start. It's year 1. Okay, 5-7, better than we've been. Better than most Matt Rule teams in year 1, even. Year 2, okay, 6-6, bowl game berth, possibly 7-6 if we can win. Little bit of an improvement. Still a lot of the same old bullshit. Year 3, let's clean up some of that shit and win a few more games. Possibly can make a push for the Big Ten championship. If not, cool. If we can win 8 games in the regular season.
Shit, a lot of people say that's just hopeful thinking.
Yeah, it is hopeful thinking. I'm a bit of an optimist. Okay.
And I don't blame you.
I've been told actually by some people in the past, I've been told I'm toxic positive.
Husker fans?
No, me in general.
No,
People have told me that.
Husker fans tell you that.
Not just based on Husker football, just a lot of stuff in life, but toxic positivity. I didn't even know positivity could be toxic, but anyway.
That's the first time for me.
But anyway, some Husker fans can be very toxic, and that's why we lose good players a lot of times. That's why we lost Adrian Martinez back in the day.
I also think it was.
That's
more
why I
of
was
Scott
worried
Frost,
we
too.
might lose Dylan Raiola, because about mid-season people were calling for him to be benched. It's like, no.
I think a lot of too. He doesn't leave because it's family tradition,
Right.
and his brother's coming next year, or in
Yeah.
2 years. So,
But yeah, I mean, if we can get at least 8 wins, regular season wins next season, that I think is a good enough jump, and clean up the freaking mental errors, and clean up the self-inflicted wounds that are really, a lot of the times we lose games is because we beat ourselves, especially against Iowa. We beat ourselves big time in that game.
I think the last time we beat him was like early 2010.
2011, I think.
Yeah.
Burkhead was still.
That's when we had Pelini.
Yeah, we had Pelini. Burkhead was our running back. Amir Abdullah was a freshman, I think. Taylor Martinez was still quarterbacking. Much better times. We were consistently winning, football team back then.
It is what it is, but I think that is going to be our episodes for today. I think it was a good turnout of our
Yeah, I
setup.
enjoyed it.
Comfier for you.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely
know.
comfier.
I kind of like this more, but
Yeah.
let us know what you guys
I don't
think.
know. I might fall asleep. I'm so comfy during the episode.
Oh, don't fall asleep, please.
No, I won't.
So, don't forget to follow us on all social media. You know where to find us at any social media. So, at TNT Boys Pod. Check out Agent Life Media. Check out their podcast, Talking Dirt, Use Assumptions, Touching Base. We have a bit of everything. Also, don't forget to check out Heavyweight Havoc if you're into wrestling and everything like that. Sam, you have everything you want to close out with?
No, I think you nailed it all.
All right. This is the TNT Boys, and we're signing out.
Peace out. Bye.